denied the opportunity of my life as an artist. In 2016, I applied for an illustration job that could have changed my life. A man was looking for illustrations for his new game project, and I wasn't the right fit for him. This man was Don Salvato, and this game was Doki Doki Literature Club, a successful visual novel game with over 10 million downloads today. Everyone in the anime fan community knows Doki Doki Literature Club. It has become absolutely viral and continues to take the internet by storm. Needless to say, the artist who got the job got everything I ever wanted as an artist. I can't get into details of what she's doing nowadays because if I look up what she's doing, I still get some mental issues. Looking back at what my art was back then, I can definitely tell why he didn't choose me. I didn't make the cut, and I can't blame myself either because I was too busy to focus on art. So, since that happened, I've been praying for the universe to give me another chance. For some other client to come up to me with some viral game idea and change my life forever. But this never happened, and it probably won't happen. If you were an artist like me, you would have already given up at this point, right? Now, let me tell you all the other failures I had in my art career throughout the years. I lost my 2,000 followers on DeviantArt when the website was sold and everybody left it, and I didn't have any other social media, so I just lost everything. Now I lost my community of 3,000 followers on Twitter I was cultivating since 2019. And now I learned my lesson and I started spreading my social media presence throughout at least 5 other websites. But it's very different having like 3,000 followers on one social media and having 3,000 followers spread throughout 5 other websites, you know? I saw multiple of my friends get good at drawing, crack numbers, and reach my art goals much earlier than me. I've been trying and taking this seriously since I was a kid, so the longer you carry your dreams, the heavier they become. Now, I'm not making this video to take the responsibility of me. I know I still have a long way to go with my art to be able to achieve my dreams. The problem is, these things don't come overnight, and I've seen everything fall apart in front of me way too many times already. In 2019, I remembered a couple who were making a living off drawing. I had known them in DeviantArt years ago, and I decided to get in touch again. And this is how I met my mentors. Their art was very, very good. It was incontestably good. But they have a very toxic mentality about how art should be and how people should be making art. And they like to limit their students' mentality a lot about how they should work. And they wanted to make their students laser focused on only one thing, and because that was the thing that worked for them without considering any other type of alternative that could have existed. And inevitably, the students that had the most results that I got to know were the ones that walked away from them and started thinking on their own. So my mentors, they taught me a lot. They gave me feedback on my pieces, and I wouldn't really be as good as I am if it wasn't for them. But their methods were very questionable, to say the least. They thought that only anger could make you great at something. Because of that, they would put their students to fight each other and to criticize each other, and it became a very toxic environment really easily, and a lot of their students started becoming very mentally ill really easily, and some of them can't even hear their name anymore. So that's why I don't disclose who they are, because even though they are great at what they do, I don't want you guys who follow me to become sick like my other friends have become, you know. I didn't have any problem with them because I learned to take only the part of them that was useful to me and run away without having to involve myself with them. And then there was this time I started learning Japanese, and I went live with my teacher on YouTube, and we started talking about my art and how I learned Japanese and how art was for Japanese people versus how it is for Western people. And this was when something clicked in my head, and the day I did it, I thought I did something amazing, and I started thinking, this is going to be recorded forever, and this is a piece of me for the world outside, and it's going to be out there forever, and people are going to watch it. This is going to be my legacy, and I just thought it was amazing, you know. So since 2019, I've been streaming my artwork on Twitch, and I haven't really gotten a viewership. I still average 5 to 10 viewers because I only stream art. And there was this day I was streaming art on Twitch. I stopped streaming and I rated someone, and I ended up rating the wrong person. I normally don't rate very large creators because I'm really ashamed of my numbers because they're so small. And I didn't see that their viewer count was so big. So when I came there, their chat started mocking me because I only brought in 4 people, and the streamer just pretended they didn't see me and nothing was happening. And I got really upset. I got really mad, and I just stopped streaming that day, and I couldn't even cry. I didn't have the strength to do much. And that absolutely took the joy out of streaming for me. And the universe had already been telling me to do YouTube since, and I thought to myself, well, I think this is the time to do YouTube and to slap these people in the face and to prove them that I can do better, and I can prove all these people wrong. And YouTube was the first platform to be gentle with me and finally smile to me. My 5th video blew up, and it blew up very intentionally. I can spend a whole video explaining how I did that. And for years, finally, something that could have taken years for others took just a few months for me. You can tell it wasn't just luck, because I've been through a lot of things, and YouTube put a will in me to succeed. I couldn't find anywhere else, YouTube did feel weird for me at the beginning, but it never felt wrong, Everything that happened in my life up until this point was because I decided to go there and make it happen, and not because I counted on someone else to make it happen and they did it for me. I just learned this lesson that people are not gonna make things happen for you, and I decided not to spend a single cent on my YouTube production and use only the things I had, and kind of worked. It feels like everything was orchestrated because only the moment I stopped comparing other people's analytics to mine, and I stopped envying people and decided to be nicer to myself and other people, that my things started growing and I started taking off. Right now I have memberships active in my channel, and I got to monetize my channel in only 3 months. 3 months? Alright, I started in June, July, August. Yeah, but I started at the end of June, so yeah, we can say it's 3 months. With only 1K subscribers, I was able to stop focusing so much on social media, making trend drawings just to get a following on social media. And I started building a community faster than I have ever done in my entire life online. And drawing my OCs more, being able to show my passion to the world, and like I'm doing right now in this drawing. If it has been doing this to me now, I'm still at 2,000 subscribers. Imagine the things that it will be able to do for me in the future. I want to be able to be taking sponsorships, to be able to be drawing cover art for the games I've been wanting to do for years. If you've been wondering if you should start YouTube today, I feel like you should. But don't just start, study a lot. This is how I was able to skip through a lot of the steps that people normally go through and go straight to the good stuff. Because I knew my first videos were gonna suck, did my absolute best to study as much as I could. So I would feel like my first videos would not be a waste, Everyone wants to be seen, everyone wants to be noticed, and I was already at this point that everything was so automatic for me, I wasn't even having fun anymore. And when I achieved a new milestone, I was so hard on myself I couldn't even celebrate. So now I feel like I can finally relax and do the things that I want to do with YouTube, and there will be some people to watch me and understand the value that I want to share with the world, and the value I want to share that I may have. You as an individual, you have value too, and don't just start, study a lot and listen to good advice. Don't listen to advice from people who are very big on YouTube. Sometimes they didn't even know what they did. And let me tell you, YouTube is not luck. YouTube is 90% the things you do and a little bit of luck. So if you want to be successful in this platform, you have to become a pattern observer. You have to look at patterns and see what patterns are the ones that do best, And this is what has been working for me. Please become a member today. I have badges, emotes, and early access to my videos. And thank you so much for watching. I hope it really resonated with you. And I hope to see you guys in the next one.